internals. Stand by 10 seconds. Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark. Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe. 5 by 5.
Hey, this is the Abyss News Channel. How you doing? My name's Andrew. Just wanted to do a quick update about the situation in Fukushima. Since I haven't done a video about Fukushima in a while, and yeah, it's quite remiss of me because you know, the situation is still very, very, very critical in Fukushima and in Japan itself. Now in Fukushima, there are reports, you know, these are more than confirmed, of mothers purposefully aborting their babies because they're fearful of the birth defects that are occurring. So you can add those aborted babies to the casualty list because you know, they wouldn't have been aborted had there been no nuclear accident. And also there are reports of 5 out of 7 babies, 5 are being born with birth defects, you know, Down syndrome, you know, all kinds of birth defects. 5 out of 7 in Fukushima. So it's just, you know, a slow but very forceful genocide that's happening in Fukushima. There's also huge protests going on in Tokyo. The Japanese people, well, there are a lot of very your head in the sand type Japanese people, but this recent protest, there were 170,000 people, and the police are trying to, you know, cordon them off or channel them away so they can't concentrate and congregate. So yeah, police state Japan. There's a picture also here of a stag beetle that was found in Hachioji City. It's a city, satellite city within Tokyo, and yeah, very deformed. I saw many magnificent stag beetles in my time in Japan and in Tokyo, and this is not one of them. So very deformed, very distressing. You know, this is what people in Tokyo are going to have to, you know, this is a sign of what's to come for them. You know, low-level radiation exposure is not safe. It's in fact very dangerous, and yeah, it's like Russian roulette. It'll get you with enough, you know, revolutions of the gun barrel. Now, also the situation at Fukushima, it's kind of a, it's a very, Japan is on the, you know, nuclear precipice. The Fukushima Reactor 4 building is, you know, still sagging. It's still exposed to the air. If you can imagine, you know, thousands of nuclear rods, spent nuclear rods, you know, all super white hot, on like racks, like sort of warehouse storage racks, you know, stacked up high in the air. They're submerged in water, for all we know. But the building that's containing it is badly damaged, and it's exposed to the air again. So there seems to be, I think there's radiation from Reactor 4, you know, coming out of the building. But you know, it's still relatively Reactor 4 is relatively benign right now, but that building, should it collapse, you know, there was an explosion there, so it's structurally unsound. Should it collapse, you know, a strong gust of wind or a typhoon, a typhoon more like, but also an earthquake. So if there's another earthquake, I mean, Japan is, you know, massively seismically active. and another reasonably high level earthquake. It doesn't have to be a major 9 on the Richter scale, but a sizable earthquake, a 6 or a 7, could knock that building right over, and it could cause, according to Arnie Gunderson, a chain reaction where it knocks out other reactors, reactor 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a common spent fuel pool as well, containing many more thousands of fuel rods, and so it creates a chain reaction where all of these reactors melt down even further because of reactor 4. If reactor 4 goes, so the whole of the plant, the Fukushima plant, and all those spent fuel rods could be exposed to air and burn white hot, and release all that cesium into the northern hemisphere, and there goes the northern hemisphere, the United States and Europe, for thousands of years. So the situation is that that's just a disaster waiting to happen. Now TEPCO are stymieing on funding building a sarcophagus around this around the building, and so therein lies our problem. Even so, if they were to start building it, it's probably going to take 3 to 4 years to completely create a steel coffin around the building. So so even if they outlay the money to do this, we've got to sort of pray that they can get it done in 3 or 4 years, and that there's not a major earthquake or tsunami in that time. So obviously they need a lot of help, international help, like a Manhattan Project, to get the situation, get some urgency there and get this done much more quickly. And just say you had a terrorist who wanted to appear on the shore and fire a few rockets into the reactor 4 building, then there's nothing stopping the chain reaction then. So a lot of security concerns, lots of variables at play, still very precarious, and KEPCO stymieing because they don't want to outlay the money, and the Japanese government aren't really going to push them very hard. So it's just a long, protracted wait and see, unless more action is taken. So even if there was an international coalition, to speed up the process and get more money in there, the Japanese government, are very proud. I don't know if they'd accept that level of international help, and would it be the right kind of help? Would there be, politicians and bureaucrats stealing money from the from such a supposed fund to fix reactor 4? Governments right now, they're just they're still got buried their heads in the sand. Could they even conjure up an effort that would work and permanently? So that's the best we can hope for, and citizen involvement is, the more citizen involvement there is, the better the outcome will be. But I guess we're just in a situation where small segments, of the Japanese public are getting conscious of what's going on, and I guess they're not really protesting about reactor 4. They're really protesting against the restart of nuclear reactors, for me anyway, but I could be wrong there. But I mean that's another issue. But Reactor 4 is you know, fingernails, holding on by the fingernail situation. So, and that really needs to be addressed, you know, very, very quickly. And whether or not there'll be a sarcophagus at Reactor 4 in 3 or 4 years' time, that's very much a big question mark there. And so, if it were to, if it takes even more time for them to come up with the right solution, it invites more possibility of earthquakes or tsunamis, maybe typhoons, just knocking the building over, and then you get the chain reaction, and you know, the real sort of Armageddon scenario, radiation scenario, and that's no hyperbole or exaggeration. So that's pretty much all I know right now. It's not a good situation. There's still, even with even if Reactor 4 never existed, there's still radiation pouring into, you know, North America and Europe, you know, from Fukushima, low doses, but it's just bioaccumulating in you know, in the biosphere, in plants and animals, the food chain. So it's the longer it goes on, you know, there's even more and more cancer risk from it accumulating in possibly in our tissue. So eat very carefully, eat well, and you know, you have to Google all the things you can do to protect your immune system, and you know, non-mainstream medicine cancer treatments, you know, should cancer occur, and but staying healthy, supporting your immune system is very, very important, you know. So that's all for me regarding Fukushima, and I'm working on a documentary right now about Fukushima, so please look out for that. It could take a couple of weeks, but I want to get it out there as quickly as possible. I've been holding it back, but I really got to get on board with that. So please look out for that, and yeah, please do support me when I release my documentary. Hopefully, it won't be too critical, and just bear with me through my first effort at making a mini doc. So it's kind of exciting, but you know, I'm a real novice, you know. But yeah, it should be fun. So Andrew, peace out, and take care out there. Bye.